Hey guys, welcome back to the showroom with yours truly. My name is Orlando, and today I have a special guest with me. His name is Hashim Ali. Thank you for being with us, Hashim.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I think it's a great platform. And yeah, I'm Hashim. I'm a creative director here in Guyana. It stretches from pageantry to business and a little bit of designing there too. So we'll talk about it as we
Yes,
get
we'll
in.
talk about all of that. But let's start from the beginning and let's talk about your early life growing up in Georgetown, or where exactly were you from?
So I recently moved to Georgetown just about a year ago.
Yep.
But my childhood started there at a really great village. It's called Little Diamond. It's located there on the east bank of the Demerara.
Okay.
So we all know about Diamond, where
Yes.
where the very good DDL factory is located. So
Yes.
Little Diamond, it's a very homey place. So you'll find that the village is very close knitted. So if your child does something wrong and my child does something wrong,
Yeah.
you have the authority
Yeah.
to scold that child.
Yeah.
And those were how that was the way that we grew up. Um, Fortunately, or sometimes unfortunately for me, our house happens to be the second house as you enter the village. So it's
Okay.
like everyone is like that's usually the meeting place.
Yeah.
So it's really good childhood. I started off from the streets of um, marbles to salad,
Yeah.
cricket. My friends and I would do some bush cooks. So I've got that really great childhood that I wish I can have my child to get.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question would be, what were some of the hobbies that you were into as, let's say, like a teenager growing up in Diamond, Little Diamond? Sorry.
Yeah, so I very outdoor.
Yep.
So I like lots of adventure. I love swimming. Um and I'm very artistic.
Yeah.
So if I have a little spare time, you'll find me either writing a script. I love writing.
Okay.
Or playing around with my little editing, a little bit of music.
Nice.
That was the person I was.
Okay. What was your first job?
I started off strangely in the finance sector, um, and I remember my boss coming up to me, who happens to be my best friend now.
Okay, nice.
Um, he is much more mature than I am, and he said to me, he said, "You're in the wrong place." I was like, "It's me, you sending me home, right?"
Yeah.
And no, he said to me, he said, "Hashem, you're not where you need to be. Where you need to be. Your calling is marketing, and
Mm.
as soon as the marketing department's
Yeah.
opening has an opening, you're going." And I stayed about 4 months in the accounting department, and then I went straight into my dream job, there in marketing. And ever since then, I've always been in sales and marketing.
In the same company or a different company?
Different
Oh, a
companies. So
different
I've
company.
I've that was a cellular a cellular provider.
Okay.
And then I moved from that into which would be considered as a communication company. And then
Okay.
I went into sales and marketing in retail. So I have a lot of experience in retail.
In retail. How long did you stay in retail?
I was in retail for about 15 years before I retire.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. So I retired from my full-time job. Myself and my wife, we
Okay.
took a brave decision
Yeah.
to step away from corporate and follow our dreams and create our own dynasty. And I mean, thank God we're getting where we want to be.
Yeah. So that leads me to my next question. You decided you wanted to get into the fashion industry and the fashion business.
So the fashion industry, in the designing aspect of us, really started back in 2013.
Okay.
We would have been, in social gathering, compliments that, "Oh, you guys look so good.
Yep.
Who's your style of fashion?" And my wife and I, for those of you who would know us, you would know that back in those days we'll try to match our outfits and
Okay. Nice.
always try to be a little different.
Yeah.
And that stemmed into the creation of Naturally Designs, um, because of those very same feedback we would have gotten.
Yeah.
But one day we were shopping a very prominent store there on Regent Street.
Okay.
And we saw this mother, and she had two kids. The kids are about 10, probably 10 and 9,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. And one of them is saying, "Mom, can we please get the blue one for all of us?" And he mentioned a name. It was a female name, and he said she's going to be so happy that we dressed alike.
Okay.
And that family was they were not able to get that for two reasons. One, that we're looking on at this, and of course we're coming up with our own assumptions.
Yeah.
So it could be that they could not afford it,
Probably.
because it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend then, my wife now, she turned to me and she said, "Did you just see what happened there?" And I said, "Yeah." And she was like, "You know what? We should be able to step in and find an ultimatum for these people who has this desire to be unique
Yeah.
and can be able to be unique for themselves." And so naturally, designs was birthed there in 2014,
Okay.
and has always been a lot.
Okay, so you started in 2014,
Mhm.
and do you remember your first ever design that you made?
Yes, it was a yellow and black polka dot suit. It was a combo for me and my wife.
Okay.
Um, Hers was a dress.
Yeah.
And I had the same fabric. A jacket was made for me.
Mm.
And we used that for our first runway show. There at the Pegasus. It was in aid of sickle cell
Okay.
awareness here in Guyana.
Oh wow, that's good.
Hmm.
And it was a yellow polka dot.
It was a yellow polka dot. I got that picture. I'll
Yeah.
give it to you. You'll definitely use it as a B roll.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's an amazing color to pull off, yellow polka dot.
Hmm.
And you guys, she had the matching dress, and you had the jacket.
And I had the jacket.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Now, do you remember growing up, like how you learned to sew and put a garment together?
So sewing has always been very technical for me.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I master.
Okay.
So I depend on my seamstress.
Okay.
Big up to you.
Yep, yep. You got to
Yeah,
be the seamstress.
my seamstresses, they're really, really made everything come alive.
Oh,
So
nice.
like I could take my sketches to them. Sometimes I don't even take the sketches.
Okay.
I just tell them
And they come
what
up
I
with it.
want, and then they will bring exactly what I say to life.
Oh, nice.
They're that amazing. But to answer your question, um, the designing and the concepts,
Yes.
those are the things that really drives my passion. And
Yeah.
I remember that I can be in the middle of the nights, in the early mornings, and I'm always getting ideas, and I always jot them down.
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know um because as a creative, you will know, being one yourself,
Yeah.
that you get inspiration at the weirdest time.
That is so true. That is
And
true.
you really want to make sure that it is saved so that you could develop on it.
Yeah, that's so true.
Hmm.
How did your family feel about you quitting the corporate side of work to get into designing and fashion full time?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous. I remember I'm coming from a very close knitted Islamic family.
Okay. Yeah.
I was the first to get involved in entertainment
Yeah.
for my family. I'm the first to be a part of this industry for my family. So it was quite new,
And how did they receive it though?
very well.
That's good.
And I will tell you this, that I believe that we, each and every one of us, can be that vessel
Yep.
to bring about change.
Yeah.
My mom comes from from the countryside. She was from Clonbrook there on the East Coast, and then she got married to my dad there at Little Diamond, and they spent all their life there with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember when we were getting married,
Yep.
my mom, my wife nor myself, we could not have revealed our wedding outfits to our family.
Is that part of the culture, or just that was just a family thing?
It's a taboo.
It's a taboo. Okay.
It's because we broke We broke a barrier, and if you go back to history, you will get it too. I'll definitely send you
Yeah.
the details of it. We were the first Islamic couple in Guyana to wear all black and gold.
Really?
Yes.
And that's a taboo within the
It's
culture,
within Guyanese
within
culture.
Guyanese culture.
Yeah, Guyanese culture is like, oh, you can't wear black for your
What
wedding.
color were you supposed to wear?
Any other color than black.
Than black. And you guys were black and gold,
We wore black and gold, black being the base
the
color.
base
So there
color, and then
was
gold
like
trimming.
and gold trimming.
I got you.
It was beautiful. We were roping our friend there, Jason Sherlin, and
Okay.
he really brought that to life.
Yeah,
Like
Jason Sherlin is amazing.
he's great.
Yeah.
And you know we just said to him, we said, listen, we won't break all barriers. We want to do black and gold. And
Okay.
he was like, you know, y'all always extra. We were like, yeah, just
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
And you know, and get back to what you're saying. I told my mom. So I wore a naturally piece the morning of my wedding.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
got downstairs, and she was like, that you're wearing? I was like, yeah. She was like, you can't wear that. And she
Yeah.
started to panic, and she was like trying to call stores. This was a Sunday. She's trying to call stores to
you a
get
new
me a
outfit.
new outfit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, come upstairs. And I took her into my room, and I showed her the outfit, and she was super happy.
Oh, that's nice.
She was super happy, and I said, well, you know, had we told you this before, you would not have been able to understand the concept.
Yeah.
And then, just as I'm telling her this, my wife is coming through the street on a motorcade. She's at the back of the motorcade
Yeah.
with this big black gown.
Wow.
It was beautiful, and you know, it was well received here in Guyana. You know, I must say that, you know, we're stepping in the right direction.
We are. We are.
You know, we can be that change.
Yeah. Now, was the wedding like a 1 day event, or was it like 2 or 3 days, or over like a week?
So it was like it was about 3 days.
3 days. Yes.
But we did the Islamic wedding, and
Yeah.
then we had a reception just after, and then like all Indian weddings, you know, we have the day after.
Now, do you guys change the outfits every single day?
We did.
Correct. What
We
was the
did.
second color?
So white.
Okay, white.
My wife did white. I did gray.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, and we did my inner was florals, because florals were quite new back then.
Yeah.
So I did a floral waistcoat with my jacket. It was different.
It sounds
And
different. But
yeah, and my wife wanted to do some, because she went so elaborate
Yeah.
for the Islamic wedding. She wanted to do something a little bit more, yeah, a little bit fitted. So she had like a simple fitted white gown with uh, a white long train
Yeah.
that is detachable. So you know, it was just that.
It was a very elaborate wedding reception and
It
ceremony
was it was
altogether.
more of a countryside elaborate wedding. So it's not the hall with the
Yeah.
chandeliers and the beautiful decor. It's like in the yard
Yeah.
with everybody. It was that experience.
That's good. You save a lot of money doing it that way. Trust me.
I agree with you.
So let's get back to the designing aspect now. How do you source your fabrics and materials to create these pieces? Do you normally get them right here?
So I have a little bit of both.
Okay.
I do some importing from India.
Nice.
And I also do, if I have to get fabric, I do have two suppliers in Guyana.
Yes.
But I would prefer to do my importing. As you know, naturally is we stick to Indian fabric,
Yes.
and our style is contemporary modern to give you that modern flair.
It is. It is.
So we try to do most of our imports.
Okay. What is the process like when you're working with a client that is wants to get a piece done by the brand? How is that process?
So how we work with that is we would have the consultation.
Yes.
And then follow that consultation, we will do the creation. And one of the things that you should know, and your viewers too, is our brand is one of a kind. So you're not going to see the same outfit you're wearing on
Definitely
someone
not.
else.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So we don't recreate. We don't use back the same fabric.
Oh, really?
No.
That's a lot of fabric you gotta get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's a gown that you
Mhm.
like, maybe you like the style, we definitely will change the fabric.
Okay.
So the only time we will have a duplication is if the customer
Sees it
requests
and likes it, yeah, and request that
and
specific fabric.
requests like a mother and daughter.
Gotcha.
That's the only way.
Okay.
Hmm.
How is it working with the pageant delegates?
So pageantry is not new to us, and surprisingly enough, it started the same year as designing.
The same year.
Yeah, so
Okay.
back in 2014, we were the directors of the Miss Global International Guyana franchise.
Okay, Miss Global. Yep.
Um, and we basically took that franchise when it was offered because the franchise basically um, stands by promoting tourism.
Yes.
Um, so we thought it was a great opportunity, and in 2014 we went to Jamaica where it was host, and our very own Onisha
Okay.
was the winner from the selection process here, and she came into top 10, best costume,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, best evening gown.
And this was all in 2014
It was all in
when you
yeah,
guys started.
when we started
Wow,
with
that's
limited knowledge of this pageant.
yeah.
And then in 2015, we knew where we needed to improve on. And Alicia Best was our winner there.
Oh,
The
nice.
veteran
Yep,
Alicia
Alicia
Best.
Best. Yes.
She was our winner. She went on to represent Guyana there in Trinidad.
Yes.
First Guyanese to make it into the top three.
I remember that year. Yeah, I remember that when she
Yeah,
went. Yeah, I remember
at
that.
second runner up. That make way for Poonam Singh in 2016.
Okay.
We went to Dominican Republic for that year's hosting, and uh, about eight eight special awards. It was a clean sweep at first runner up. And
Nice.
so now, if you do the math, at least your second runner up, Poonam first runner up.
Yeah.
Then in 2017, with Cynthia Duki, we brought the first Miss Global International title to Guyana
And where was that held?
in Jamaica
Nice. So that was the first one we ever got in 2017.
in 2017.
Nice.
Yes. And then in 2018, Miss India was offered to us.
Yeah.
And, a lot of discussions from a lot of people, and we made the step to take it. Um, and ever since, I think the pageant speaks for itself.
Now, going back, was there ever a Miss India Guyana version before?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
so
We had other directors in Guyana.
that held the pageant.
Yes,
How,
yes.
do you know how many years back we've been keeping a Miss India Guyana? I don't know.
Oh, so it started in 1999.
Oh, so it's way back.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So 1999, Dimple Mendonça was crowned Miss India Worldwide Guyana.
Okay, okay. And you took it over in what, 2018?
2018.
2018, you took
Prior
it
to
over.
me, you had other directors, including the Apsara, who would have had the franchise in 2012
Yeah.
when Alana Sibaran was the first Guyanese to
To win it.
win. Yeah.
Nice, nice. How does one become the director of that pageant franchise?
So it's actually a bid. So you will obviously have to send your portfolio
Okay.
and bid for it. Once it's free, once it's available.
Is the bid local or is it like international?
It's an international
committee?
franchise. Yes.
Okay.
So the international pageant is owned by the IFC. It's called the Indian Festival Committee.
Yeah.
And they're based in New York.
Okay.
It's head by Dharmatma and Neelam Saran.
Okay, so you will submit and you will send in everything there and they will review it.
And they review it, and then they will call you for an interview, and then if you your application will have to give a 5-year span
5
of
years.
of what you want to do with the title.
Okay, now is that Miss India teen or just regular? Is that the
So it started with Miss India, the Miss category.
Miss India cat? Yeah.
Yeah, and that celebrates 32 years this
Okay,
year.
yeah.
And then in 2019,
Yeah.
the teen category was introduced
Okay. For the
uh,
first time
for the
ever?
first time ever.
And you're also the director of the teen category.
Correct.
Got you.
Since 2019.
2019, yeah.
And then in 2017, they would have introduced the Mrs. category. 2016, I'm sorry,
The
2016.
Mr.
Mrs.
Oh, Mrs.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs.
So the Mrs. category was introduced in 2016, and then in 2019, the teen category. So what the organization is hoping is that they were hoping for one umbrella
Okay,
to
I got you.
house all three categories
Yes.
rather than having three different companies
To do it.
to do it.
I got you. Now, how did the Mr. India come about?
So the Mr. India franchise was a brainchild of mine. I've
Okay.
been working on that for 3 years.
Nice.
I believe Orlando, for us in Guyana, especially Indian guys, the opportunities is very limited. I wish in
For
my
pageantry,
for
right?
pageantry.
Yes, got you.
And I feel like our young men have so much to offer.
Mhm.
And we created this platform with the hope that we spread that men has a space in this industry,
Yeah,
and we can do so with masculinity.
definitely.
And so I started really jotting down what I really want for this. And, in 2021, I did my first show, and it was success.
Nice.
Um, and and then in 2023, I did my second, and then 2024, it's my third year, and this year, last year, I thought that it is about time that I break away from the Mrs. and Teen, because the Mister was usually held within the same pageant
Oh, within the
on the
same
same night of the pageant.
Oh, okay.
So we thought that the guys needed their own night.
Their own night, yes.
And the idea was a winner.
How is it finding the guys to compete? Is it hard?
Tough,
Yeah.
because we're talking about being tabooed.
Yes. It's a
With
stigma attached to
the
that.
stigma
To men
to
in
men in
pageant.
pageantry.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm lucky that the guys that are within my my classes,
Yeah.
since the formation of this pageant, are all advocate of this title. Whether they're just contenders,
Yeah.
or they're winners, they all advocate for the pageant, and they also advocate for men to get involved. My first winner, Mario Munsami, who's no stranger to this industry,
Yeah.
um, really set the foundation of what Mr. India really entails. Like, if he walks into a room, people will know him,
Yeah.
as
Okay.
Mr. India. Although he's so popular for, his gym, his entrepreneurship, and
Okay, so he's a pretty popular guy.
he is.
Nice.
And then follow him, we had Anthony Singh,
Mm.
who is a medical student, and our recent winner, Nicholas.
So what are the requirements to be a part of the pageant for the males?
So it's obviously the age criteria. We would have looked at that. I think it's now at 30.
30 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the
Um,
youngest you can be?
18.
18 to 30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
What about height and weight?
none of that.
None of that. Okay.
None of that.
Platform?
Platform that you advocate for, and must be of Indian origin.
Obviously.
And yeah, never been married, and
Never been married?
yeah,
Kids?
no kids.
No kids, never been married. Got to be Indian origin.
I mean, those are. So when I did my research on the international pageants, because I want this to be a gateway,
Yeah.
there's only one male pageant in that exists, that accepts married men or men with kids, and that's called Manhunt.
Manhunt. I've
So
never heard about that.
Manhunt is huge.
Do you know what country it started in?
I think it started in Colombia. I can be wrong, but
Okay,
just
okay.
it's a it's also very it's one of the longest male pageants.
What are your thoughts about bringing that here to Guyana?
Been talking. I think you're kind of getting to something.
Yeah.
We have been in talks of maybe taking Mr. India International.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes.
Oh, so there's not an international version of Mr.
Not as
India,
yet,
just the Guyana version.
just Guyana.
Oh.
You do have a couple other countries that has it.
Hmm.
I think Fiji is one of those. Malaysia is also another one.
Okay.
And I see some other countries now stepping,
Yeah.
but I like it. I think it's really good that other countries are getting on board.
Yeah, that's great. What are some of the incentives for the guys if they bring in within the top three, top five?
So that will be on a corporate base. So they, of course, they'll have the cash and other prices that comes with it.
Yeah.
And that will vary by year. I mean,
By year.
corporate Ghana, I know I like you, but
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes corporate
Sponsorship,
yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be a little tough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like my last show was pretty tough because first I was doing it independently,
That's
and
tough, yeah.
it's the first time that I selected, which was a bad time. It was probably not the best decision, but it's a lesson learned. I proposed to host in December, which was not a good idea.
Oh, last year December. That's a tough time.
It's yes.
Yeah, that's a tough time.
So it really did not work well, and so we got some lessons learned, and that's the more you get it, and the more you share,
Yeah.
People will be able to understand the constraints that comes within it. But to answer your question, to the winner does have the opportunity to represent international.
Internationally. Okay, and they reigned for that 1 year.
Correct, and they can go to a pageant of that they desire.
Yes.
Once we are able to get them registered.
Okay, into the pageant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can be a Mr. World, it can be a supranational, they can be, it could be a Mr. Grand. So whatever it is that they desire.
Okay, I got you. How many contestants do you guys have on the pageant? What's the max, like the limit?
So we had about 7
Okay.
last year.
Yeah.
And the previous year, I think we had about 11, and then we had 10, somewhere around there.
And where's the show held?
It was held at the Ramada, Georgia.
Now, is there a show this year?
Yeah, so this year we're talking about Mrs. and Teen.
Yes.
We recently launched our first event, the date.
Okay.
So it's on May 1st. That's our official sashing ceremony.
Yes.
It's themed Hai Chai, and the caption for this year is Mumbai Dreams. And if you have been tracking our page, you will know that last year we did the Mughal Affair. So it was quite elegant. And
Yeah.
this year we're going more Mumbai fashion. So it's very high fashion, a little bit of modern twist. So you'll see some Indian pieces with like a Western flair.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a really great event.
Location?
It's there, right there, back at the Ramada.
Ramada Princess Hotel. Okay.
And the time is 5 p.m. It's a holiday.
Oh, it is a holiday?
Yeah, it's Thursday. It's May 1st.
Okay, May 1st is a holiday. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's a national holiday here in Guyana, and so I mean, a lot is happening that weekend, and so we just want to make sure that we have a place within it.
So you have all three categories are going to be there: the Mr. India,
Mrs. and Teen.
and Teen.
Yeah, we don't have Mr. as yet for this year.
Oh, no Mr.'s yet.
We're hoping that we can do that independently again.
Okay. So how do you find the girls to compete in the three different categories for the Miss
So-
India pageant?
So we have an application process. So we open the application process. The young ladies will send their application. Some of them, their parents will not know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And they will come on board. We had a total of about 65
65 girls.
applicants that came in.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then our panel had to take that down. And we took that down to 19.
How is that process of taking it down to that to 19?
So we did the first interview.
Okay.
And then after that interview, They will then shortlist the semifinalists, and from the semifinalists, they all will be invited to an orientation, and
Yes.
after that orientation, we'll have our finalists.
Okay. And how many persons are on the panel?
So we have six.
Six. Okay.
Yeah, so six panelists will go through the vetting process,
Yeah.
and then we come up with this year, you know, we our placements at our pageants, and if you look at it, as always outstanding.
Yeah.
um Bringing back the second Miss India worldwide title in
Nice.
2023 with Aruna Suktio was a milestone for us.
That's great.
um we also won the 2022 teen category internationally.
You guys won it?
Yes.
That's,
So we won the teen category in 2022. We won the Miss category in 2023.
okay.
So 2025 we're heading there for that Mrs. category.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah.
Guyana's
So
doing really good on the international stage.
yeah, last year our Davy Lim, our Mrs. category, she came into the top 5 um in the Mrs.
In the Mrs.
category.
category.
And that's from 2023 with Rihanna Arkan,
Okay.
who also made it in top 5. So we have a legacy in the Mrs. category,
Yes.
just like we have in the teen and the Miss.
That's great. That's really good. What is the requirements for the teen? You have to be what, 19 and below?
Oh no, so you have to be 15 to 17.
Oh, so it's younger.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because
15 to
the
17.
requirements for Miss is at 18.
Okay, so teen is 15 to 17. Miss is 18 to 20.
To 30, I think they moved to 32.
And then Mrs. is open field?
18
Okay.
and open.
And opens. Okay.
Yeah.
And you have to be Indian now.
Yeah.
If a girl comes in, she's like half and half. How
So
can you guys
so
tell
I
and
mean,
say no?
so we had that,
Yeah.
and we cannot turn her away.
Yeah.
So we do encourage those applicants to come in.
To come in. Okay.
We have that in the Caribbean, and so the IFC is opened
Yeah.
to that. Not even in the Caribbean, even in like Malaysia and Fiji,
It's a lot of mixture
you
happening.
have a lot of mixtures.
Yeah, you do.
So we have to be open, but we ask for majority to be of Indian.
Yeah, Indian. Okay. Yeah. What are the prices like for those categories?
So the prices will vary, but all 3 winners goes to Mumbai,
To Mumbai.
this year.
That's where they keep the pageant,
Yeah.
correct?
So this year it's going to
Oh,
Mumbai.
this year, got you.
Yeah. So you're getting to live your Mumbai dream.
So
I
is
mean,
it
that's
not
amazing.
is it not kept in India every year since it's Miss India?
No, it's
not?
not. It
Okay.
keeps traveling. Just
Ah.
like every other international pageant.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, so like
Miss
Miss
World, Miss
Universe,
Universe, yeah,
Miss
yeah.
World, they're traveling. So Miss India Worldwide, we travel too.
What's the correct name for it?
Miss India Worldwide.
Okay, Miss India Worldwide.
Yeah, so it's Miss India Worldwide, Mrs. India Worldwide, and Miss Teen India
Do you ever
Worldwide.
think Guyana will get the bid to host the Miss India
We
Worldwide?
did. We were in negotiation to host this year and last year.
Okay.
I honestly don't think Guyana is ready.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of
That's a
work,
big pageant.
and I think we're on the step to go though.
Okay.
Like, the infrastructures are going up.
A lot of
The
hotels are going up.
hotels are coming.
Yeah.
The malls are coming.
Yeah.
We have so many great movements that are happening around us.
Yes.
The seawall, the beautification of the parks.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot more to offer.
We do.
And so I give myself at least another 2 years
Okay.
when I really think we're going to be at the peak of probably bringing that to Guyana.
So it's definitely easier to get the girls to compete in the pageant.
It's easier.
Easier as compared to the men.
Yeah.
Yes. And their incentives is more, obviously, compared to the men.
Right, because they have the international pageant to go through. The girls really, really shine. Like we have a great team behind us. And they do amazing things. everything that you see an output from the organization, it's coming from a team of very creative people.
That's amazing.
It's not me. It's
Just
probably it could be my concept
yeah.
or my idea, but those are the people that really runs with it.
Okay, that's good. And Guyana has never won the Miss India pageant yet.
Yeah, we did.
International. We
We
have.
did in 2013, 20 in so Alana won in
She won the international worldwide.
in 2012.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
held in Suriname. She was the first to win.
Oh, okay.
And then Aruna won in 2023 in India.
Okay, that's the Guyanese as well.
Yeah. And that's
Ah,
under my directorship
nice.
in 31 years. It's
So we've had
amazing.
two winners in 31 years.
Yeah. In
That's a,
32 years, yes.
okay.
Mhm.
What country normally wins it a lot?
So you have a mixture. You will
Okay.
have you have India, you have Oman, you have I think the USA was probably one of the most.
Oh, they won it a lot.
Yeah,
Lots of Indians over there.
yeah, and their competition. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You know, I was the first Guyanese to sit on the panel
Mm-hmm.
of Mrs. and Teen in the USA, their national pageant.
Oh, you sat on the panel.
I sat in on that panel, and I don't know how I did it. These
Wow.
girls are amazing, and I turned to
They
the
bring the A game.
director, and I was like, this is more competitive than the international round.
Oh yeah.
The girls are in it. They bring all their games. They put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
They put in a lot of years
Okay. Yeah.
of preparation into that pageant. Yeah.
And when you come back to Guyana, you see what we have here.
Yeah, and you know,
Yeah.
but yeah, I kind of use the experience
Yeah, you use the experience,
to
yeah.
help myself.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, let's get back to the fashion questions. Who are some of the designers and Guyanese designers that you like and you like their work?
So you know, we have a pool of great designers.
We have a lot.
I feel like from the Naomis to the Keishas to the Randys.
Yeah.
We mentioned a little bit about Jason Sherlin.
Jason Sherlin,
You
yeah.
know, the House of Pearson, Quentin
Yep.
Pearson. You know, Derek Moore. There's so many people,
Yeah.
and what I like about them is everyone has their own niche,
They have their own niche.
and they
yes.
perfect it to the T.
Yep, that is true.
And I think that is amazing. I feel we are also in an era where us as designers are so cohesive. You know, like I can call Naomi, Naomi can call me, I can call Keisha, Keisha could call Randy. You know, we all work so closely
Yes.
with each other that it's amazing when you work closely with each other what you can do for this industry.
That is true. That is so true. Is there any new collection or anything that you're working on right now?
Oh yeah, so I'm actually preparing for Origins.
Oh, you're a part of Origins.
Yes.
Nice.
And let's just say that we're going way out of our comfort zone.
Oh, nice.
So that's something for you to look out for.
Yes. So you'll be a part of Origin. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
nice. How can clients reach you if they want to get a piece from you from your brand?
So we are on all socials.
Yep.
It's naturally NACHLE.
Yep.
Designs. We're on Instagram. We're on there on Facebook. We have our contact numbers there also.
Nice.
Our email address is also there. You can definitely message us, and we'll get back to you.
Okay. And what last question is, what do you see for the Guyana fashion industry in the upcoming year or so?
Brilliance.
Yeah.
I would sit here and I will say that we are stepping in the right direction.
I think we are too.
we're taking the spaces, we're taking the opportunities, we're creating the
Yeah.
opportunities. You know, I always remember, you know, Naomi calling me one day, and we happened to reach at a show, and she said, you know, Hashim, I have this beautiful concept that I've been working on for such a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to do it this year because I don't think I'm ready, but I'm going to do it next year. And it was her bridal showcase, the
Yes.
bridal fashion showcase. and she did it, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, you were one of the designers on the show. Talk about that.
You
How did you
know,
like that
I
experience?
think it was great.
Yeah.
I think the show came off spectacular.
Yes, it was.
It's the first of its kind in
Yes.
Guyana. We have not experienced that sort of bridal showcase.
It's a lot of work, that's why.
It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
and I feel like Naomi has mastered the art of bridal gowns and that
Yes.
bridal sector in Guyana.
Definitely.
Um, and kudos to her. And so my point is when you have people that works together and supports each other,
Yeah.
um, you know, we can definitely achieve a great lot. And trust me, this industry will be one that will be an attraction internationally. Trust me on it.
That is so true. So your next event, you're gonna be a part of Origins,
Yes.
and then after that, you're gonna be a part of the session. Or the session is before.
So the session is one day before. I'm scheduled to show on the first day of Origin.
Okay, the first day of Origins, you're saying.
Yeah, and that's only because of how busy that period
Yes.
is. So I asked if I can be on that first day. So I have the session on the first,
That's a tight schedule.
and the second is Origin.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a tight schedule. But my wife would usually say, "What is success without chaos?"
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, me and Naomi were talking about the events that are happening because we have Origin. I know
Hmm.
Randy
Randy
has
has
his
brunch in
his
paradise.
Brunch in Paradise show. That's like
Hmm.
on the 4th.
That's on the fourth. It's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
now I'm hearing about you having your session
Yes,
at the Princess
on
Hotel
the
on
first.
the 1st. So that's a lot of
It's a
fashion related
lot.
activities happening those 4 or
Yeah,
5 days.
it's a lot happening. So it's gonna be a busy
It's a
period.
busy period, yeah.
But I'll tell you, Randy Madre is doing really well, and I will tell anyone, grab those tickets.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Randy is
I'm
spectacular.
looking forward to it.
And at the same time you're supporting who
Yes.
the girls in pageantry, and Randy just like myself. And surprisingly, we were talking just like yesterday, him and we were saying, the amount of work that we put into pageantry
Yeah.
to be able to be this successful, it's it's crazy. I mean, Randy came on with the Guyana Culture Queen pageant and secure Guyana back to back for two
Yeah, back to
years.
back for 2 years. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I know that there are talents out there. It's just that we need to nurture them and support. Guys, support. Support is what we need.
Definitely, definitely. Well, listen, Hashim, thank you so much for being on the show,
I
man.
really appreciate it. Thank you so
Definitely,
much.
man. You can definitely come